Okay, so apply the material. What you need is this percentage udem.d.exr. So this is the most important thing, this right here. Percentage, parentheses, udim.d.exr. So this right here, I'll just do Control X. When we do our bump texture, we select it, we go to bump and normals. Well, this is the normal, right? So we go here, we choose our texture, which this time it's runway. Okay. We'll do normal. It's all on one sequence entry. Now it's in there, and all we got to do is do this. Dollar. Oh, wait. Let me not do that. Let me paste this in here again. So this just needs to be on the end. So well, actually, okay. So whatever it is, it's dot, then this. So let's say this is the last dot before the EXR. So it needs to be dot, whatever the end, the whole name, dot, percentage, udem.d.exr. Now for bump, same thing. We go over here, we go to coat, we click on this, and we go to bump, right? So remember, it comes in like this, separate coat normals, go to bump. Now we can click on this and go to the height. And the same thing, remember, we go, well, I'll just type it. Dot, percentage, parentheses, UDIM, D, no, wait, D.exr, or whatever your file extension is. So I guess it could be JPEG, if it's a bunch of those. And that's how you control the bump. And then if you want to increase the effect, you would increase this number right here. I don't think this is anything, but let's just see, just to see. I really don't think it's the correct texture. Yeah, it's not the correct thing. All right, so now on to rendering. So if I have this right here, and let's just check this out. I have, this is my center ground. Now where's Eddie? Out Eddie's right here, all right? So out Eddie's in the floor setup. So I'll just do this, select this, copy it, render, render Eddie. I'll go inside of here, right click. Oh, I didn't put an object merge in the other one. So tab, OBJN, object merge. We'll go to the floor setup, and we'll go to out Eddie. So Eddie's there. And then the center ground, object merge. Let's go over here. And let's go to out center ground, right? So this, and then a part of our center ground, I think I remember as our textures, we had, I'll do a shift, I mean, alt left click, and I think we had the outer ground, right? Yeah. So what I'll do here is I'll do merge, because I'm pretty sure I made these two at the same time. So they are like gonna all have the same texture. So this will have that, and this will have this. And it should be okay now that we have the merge here. We could be extra safe and put like an output. And all the output means is that if this flag is on this and we go to render, it's going to render this, not this. Because this would just be one part of the wall or in one part of the wall. Well, this would be both. But also this could work too. But this is just super fail safe, but it's not very important in this instance. It's just something to let you know. All right, so we have our ground and we have our eddy. All right. So now let's go into our render settings. So if I click on this and I go to out, I have a mantra node right here. Now this is like a default node. I guess a node that's made just when you render anyway, because as soon as you just click render, it'll make this because it just needs some settings to work off of. So these are like default settings. So let's say I want to make a new one. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to right click and type mantra. And I can say this is, we could actually do this in two ways. We can do this mantra all, and then we can also do one specifically for eddy and one specifically for the ground. All right, so we have mantra right here. Let's say the all. If I go into rendering and I go into objects, right here we have candidate objects and it has this star. So this means that it'll render every single thing in the scene. Now let's see what's going on here for real. Let me collapse this. If I go here, this right here, this mantra one is this one. This is the default one that's made. Now, if I want to use this one that I just made right here, I can just go to mantra all and I can see what that is. Now, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to delete this star right here. So that means that there's no objects in here. Force objects means, hey, we're going to definitely render this, right? And we know we are going to render. Now let's choose our objects. We just can go to this chooser right here and let's go to, we can go to render eddy, and then we can also go to render center ground. I guess I just should have put ground. Now, if I press play, see, it gave me some other kind of texture on there that wasn't what it was supposed to be. Probably why it took a little bit longer too. I don't see eddy. So let me do this. I'll go here. I'll go to my render cam, and I'll just wait till I start seeing eddy. Things should make a little bit more sense. Okay, let me stop this. All right, so if I go back to this render view, well, actually, I'll do this too, just because I think really like the texture is taking a long time. Wait, what happened? I'm wondering where all that came from. I don't see the material anymore. I don't have that much time. Yeah, where's that material? I don't know where it got connected though. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Because the material had to have been applied somewhere. I don't want to spend too much time trying to find it. I don't know where it is, where that could be. Let me just delete this. But yeah, this thing has a material, and I could spend time trying to figure out where it is, but I don't want to take up too much time. Okay, let's just do this though. Eddy shader. I'll put this. Go to material, Eddy shader. Yeah, I don't know. The textures, I don't know where they're coming from, but they're not what we're supposed to have. But oh yeah, it's saying mandrel pick. Let's just do this, just to shaders. All right, forget it. We'll just do regular shader. So look, we'll just make this eddy kind of blue, and then we'll make the ground gray. We'll make it like whatever the opposite of this is. All right. So do this. So go here. We'll add a material. Like let's say you had your whole substance material, the eddy, and then this right here. Go here. Um, ground. Let's do a render. Eddy, ground. Eddy, ground. This shouldn't be doing this, but it is doing this. It's fine there, so I don't know. No, let's just get back to the rendering. So let me go back to out. And if I go here, we have the eddy and the center ground, right? Now, if we have lights in the scene, so let's make a light. Let's make a Skydome light. So let's go to environment, light. Yeah, this is it. So this is like our Skydome. And we can just go to, let me just organize this right. So I'll click on this. And let me get a fake HDRI. So I'll go to pick, let's go to garage. And let's look and see what we got. You know what? Did I do this here? Nah, don't know. You know, and I'll go to into this object. Maybe that might make a difference. Well, I'm not able to see that shader, but I just added a new one. So hopefully this one will work. Let me hold down shift. Okay. All right. That's what I'm talking about. Cool. All right. So let's go into our render out. So this is how you would do that. And then if we want lights, we erase this, and then we can go to force lights, right? And all the lights are here. So environment light. So it's going to be in there. If I want another light, let's say I am here and I want like a little, I don't know, a light over his back or something. Then I can go right here, place it, and then hold down control, click on area light, click the lock, and now I can kind of like move around, or I can move around just like this. This will help. So I'm here, I have this. Cool, I'll name it rim light. Get out of here. I'll go to my render view. So this is what we have already. And now if I go to my out, now I go to my lights and I click on this. Now I'm hold down shift, choose the other light, accept pattern. Now we have the other light in there. So it's like a list. It's basically saying, all right, what do you want in here? And you want to do the force. You don't want to do the other ones, just do the force. Right? And this forced matte has a purpose too. And that's what I'll show you. So right now I have this eddy. There's a little bit of light bleeding right here. So that means that there's going to be some red on this from him, bouncing off of him. I'm telling you all that for a reason. So check this out. If I go to Mantra Eddy, and you know, you can always copy these things. So I could just hold down control, click, bring it here. You know what? This one I'll make, this will be the wall, right? So I'll go, ground. So I'll go here, I'll delete the eddy. I can delete it from here, or I can just go here because it puts the names there with the space, and I can just go to the center ground, right? And then I can just go here where it says ground and just render the ground. All right? No eddy. Cool. Now I'm gonna do like this and go eddy. Let me delete this one. You know what eddy's gonna be? And that'll be center ground, it's just gonna be eddy. So let's do a render of this. What? Oh, because I didn't have it on eddy. Now, okay, cool, right? So we have eddy solo, right? So together minus eddy, right? So you'll see what's happening. Now, peep this, right? I can go to eddy and go to something called forced phantom. Forced matte. Now, if I click on this and I go to the center ground, so we already see what this one did. Now, look at what it did, right? Now, why did it do that? Because if we look at right under Eddie's left eye, you see the little chip. It's basically cutting out this ground, right? And then I'll go to the ground. No, actually, the ground should render just fine. Unless, but I think I would do the same thing with the ground. Go in and go to the mat and get Eddie. But it won't matter that much. Okay, so we have this. We'll snap, and we'll do one more of the ground, right? So here's this. Not a huge difference rate. Probably shouldn't be that much. Okay. So we have these two things. So now let's render these, right? Oh, first we got to get camera too. Let me get out of this light. I guess that is my camera right there. Probably only have one camera. So I'll select both of these. And remember, you can select both of these. We can go to camera and we can go, let's choose our camera. Oh, this render camera. So now if I select this one and this one, still different options, but that is the same. So where do they go to? They go here, right? And hip is just like their project location. But let's just put it in a different folder for now. I'm gonna go to C desktop and I'll go to my class. I'll go to new folder. I'll go to all right. So what this is gonna do is I typed in Eddie ground renders and hey, which one is this? This is the I'll put picture desktop class Eddie ground renders. Let's type it um which one was this? I think I had them both selected, maybe. Is that why? C. Where's it at? Desktop. Sorry. I should put it over here. Let me see this. Okay, so I put it here and it named it that, which I don't want it. I could actually put $OS and it would get that name, but I'll just say A just to give it something crazy. All right, so I can just take this right here, copy this, and I can put it over here and give this like another name. It's gonna put it all in the same area. So if I select these two, and actually if I do this too, if I type in merge, select both of these. Well, I select the merge first. I'll go to, well, it won't activate unless they're both connected. So select them both, connect it, click on the merge, go to controls, and go node by node. And what will happen is it'll render this node first, and then it'll render this node second. So if I do render, this is going to tell you, it's going to say, all right, it's doing Mantra Eddy frame 36. We're only doing one frame this time. And then it's going to do the wall next, but you have to switch it. If you don't do that, it's going to do like this. It's going to do Eddy 1, ground 1, Eddy 2, ground 2, which could be whatever, you know. But you're doing simulations, you don't want to do that. You just want to get one node out the way and go to the next node. So we have those two in there. And we can also do this. We can go to image and double click in here to go inside, right click and do, I think it's a file. Go to file. I can click on this. I can find my Eddy. And I can control click this. And I can go to my ground. And if we go to composite view, look, we can even see our Eddy and our ground separately. I think we just need to do a merge. And take both of these, put them here, and view this one. Oh, how you view the merge? Oh, and this way. So it's saying, No, it's not merge. It's another one. A top. So this will be the foreground, which will be, I guess Eddie will be the foreground. And if that's not it, then it's the other way. Hmm. Is it over? This the doing something. It's on the top, man. Multiply. Why it was so there. Huh, I gotta look that up. There's some I'm doing not quite. Ah, okay, here it is. Add. All right. Took a while for me to get there, but I got there. All right, so we have our Eddie right here, and then we have this. I think we could also do like a. And this way to make a background. I'll go into that later. But look, check this out. We can also go here. We can do color, correct? So now if we have this in here, so this is where it gets cool. We can go in here and start adding things. So now we can change this without affecting Eddie. And we can even give it like a color or something, like a little tint. And without affecting him at all. And then we can do the same thing here. So tab, color correct. And there's a way we can go even more in depth where we can like kind of mess with the how shiny he is and mess with the specular and other things. So here's the exact same thing. Been going with these shadows and oh wait, no. I don't want to mess with that. Let's go to the gamma so we can mess with them there. We can this multiplier. I'll mess with highlights. Oh no, it's not doing what I think it is. So yeah, we can definitely go in here and mess with them and alter them. So now that looks like it's messing with the highlights a bit. I mean, gamma kind of washes it out, but yeah, I think you'll see what I'm saying. So we can go in here and kind of alter it. But we can go in here, do add, and then go to something like this, wrap file output. And then because it has a frame range, like let's say this was 1 to 100, we can just put 100 here, and then what we do is we click on this, and it does the same thing. We just write it out, and then you'd have a sequence of images, and then after that, you can put those images together and, and have your movie. But this is what the process is. It's basically breaking down the objects into their different elements. I mean, it all makes sense. So if we had like 10 Eddie robots, maybe every Eddie robot would be in this. And if we had a whole bunch of grounds, maybe every ground would be in this. Or maybe just the main ground we're looking at might be in here, and then the rest of them could be in another node. And what you would go through and you would what do you call it? Manipulate them until they look right. And this is what you call compositing. So this is a job all in itself, where somebody sits here and they get all these pictures and they just go in with like this, because this is kind of, I mean, there's a lot more nodes here, but it's kind of like Photoshop where you can alter a picture, but it alters a bunch of pictures at one time. And also a part of that is you can also come in here, and let's say this is like this right now, but let's say I want to make it go from purple to green. I could also keyframe one of these and then, keyframe it again later on to another color to change that color too. But this is all after the fact. This is all after 3D. So you're just messing with images. So it's fast. It's not like we're doing things and waiting for it to render. It's like, nah, all the renders are done. Now you're manipulating the photos. So it's the other process. So if you think about it, there's modeling, and then there's the texturing, and then there's the lighting, and then let's say some effects over it. We had some smoke or something like that. So there's the effects. If there's a character moving, that's rigging. So you can see all these different jobs people have. And then after the whole thing's written out, there's like editing, and then there's like compositing. So this is the next step. So you could do it either way. You could do it like this, but you would just end up rendering out frame ranges. I mean, rendering out instead of a current frame, you would go like this. You would take it to, you could do render frame range only strict. And also right here, it's already giving you a default kind of value where it says f start, f end, which means wherever this starts, wherever this ends, frame start, frame end. Now, if we want to get rid of this, we do what we did before. Get rid of the keyframes. Control Shift click, or right click keyframes. Or right click keyframes. Oh no, it's not a keyframe. This is an expression. So it's right click. Yeah, that's what it is. It's Control Shift click to delete an expression. And the thing is Alt or Shift click. I don't know. Anyway, you just right click and we can go to delete channel, and that will get rid of that. Now we can put in whatever we want. We can put in 5 or 50 to 100, whatever we want. So when you come across this, it's a channel. My bad. It's not a keyframe. So Control Shift left click or right click delete channel. So yeah, so that's basically it. So we can do it all in this node right here, or we can do it this node, then take it here. Like I said, if you want to duplicate some eddies or whatever, you can put them here. You just go into objects, and whatever is in the object, it'll go there. So that's what to remember. Objects, put the object in, force object, force lights. You want the cutout of the other object, that's what you call a matte cutout. So it's cutting out the ground. So the actual object rendering, the cutout, the light. You want to render it all at one time? I mean, you want to render it, both of them? Because what I used to do before is render this one, wait, then manually go in here and open it up and click this one. When you can just click this merge. So if you could have a whole bunch of these, you could have 100 of them. Click this merge, set it up to do node by node. Important, render, done. Just go to sleep and have this thing render out until, forever. So yeah, that's the process. So all in one node, split, and do the composite. I'd rather you split, do the composite. Plus the renders will be faster because they're split. Because now it's just one number instead of I'm not one number, one geometry that needs to be rendered instead of a whole bunch. Okay.